Hello, all you beautiful people out there in the land of lockdowns. Mrs. Nuts Manarchy coming to you from Tulsa, Oklahoma. We thought we'd get out today and kind of show you the upgrades we did to our cooling systems on our Streetglides. We've got the two CVOs, and then we have the Beast that you guys have also seen, and we did the same cooling systems on all those bikes. So let's take a look. Last year, Harley Davidson released a fan-assisted oil cooler system that basically it's a plug-and-play system that installs right where the existing stock one comes standard. So you remove the old stock oil cooler and install this new one, and then you just have to take it over to your dealership, have your tech basically enable it through the ECM module. We installed it on both these bikes. It's been a great feature. It actually will cool your oil by about 50 degrees, which is really kind of impressive. So it sits right up here and it kind of wraps around, but you really don't see the fan. It all kind of is covered up, so it's really kind of a low profile system, so it really keeps the bike looking clean. So we also installed on both the CVOs, we installed the HD CoolFlow fans, which sit right here behind the rear cylinder, and they basically, you've got a lot of heat that builds up, so it takes the heat, pushes it down and pushes it across the catalytic converter to get it away from your legs so it doesn't blow up on you when you're riding. If you have a passenger, believe me, they will appreciate this, because I remember when I used to ride passenger a long time ago, my legs would get like almost blistery red. It has a 3-part switch. It basically has off, which is pretty obvious, off. It has an on, so when you turn your bike on, it basically comes on every time. Or it has an auto, which uses the sensors then on the bike. When you get to a 59-degree ambient temperature and your speed is less than 40 and your engine is around 200, it basically will kick on automatically. The bikes actually have a button up here so that you can set the setting that you prefer, and then as soon as all those conditions are met on the auto feature, it basically turns it off. So we are going to let Mr. Nut here tell you what he did to his 2019 CVO Streetglide in the Black Forest. He took it to stage 1, so we'll let him kind of fill in the details for you. Mr. Nut.
Mr. Nut. So, you know, one of the things that was important to me when I went to stage 1 on this bike, because I'd had a previous, I had a 2018 CVO Streetglide, and I know I'm a little bit insane because I basically went with the 2019 because I really wanted Apple CarPlay on my motorcycle. I know it sounds nuts, but hence the name, and that's really one of the reasons why I went to the 2019. But I had some experience with doing a stage 1 upgrade, and I had some experience with the CoolFlow Fan, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But we had the CoolFlow Fan on our 2018, and when we took that down to Paris, Texas, for our first try at breaking the world record of Harley Davidson's in a parade, that fan kept that bike from overheating. I'm positive it was the fan. Everybody else was overheating. The parade route was extremely slow, and I'm positive that fan saved the motorcycle. So cooling became like an important focus. So when I went to my stage 1, I went with the Harley Davidson Ventilator Extreme Air Cleaner. It had just been released when I bought this bike. Absolutely love that air cleaner. I've got it on this bike, and I've got it on my Beast, my 2019 Streetglide Special. And I decided on this bike to go with Fuel Moto's Jackpot headers because I really wanted to keep my CVO heat shields. The Jackpot is a 2-into-1 into 2. It basically deletes the catalytic converter. It has a 3-step stainless steel header. And then I went with the Cobra Race Pro mufflers, and one of the cool things is those mufflers, even though they're I believe they're a 3-inch muffler and they have a 4-inch exit here, they allowed me to keep the stock CVO heat shields over the mufflers. And to me, that kept a really nice look. The other advantage to the Jackpot headers, before I forget, is it allowed me to install the CoolFlow fan. On the Beast, I'm running a D&D billet cat exhaust, and I can't put that fan on there. So on the Beast, we're still running the oil cooler, the fan-assisted oil cooler, because I think that's really significant to keeping the bike cool. And on both of these bikes, we've got the fan-assisted oil cooler. Just to kind of reiterate on what Mrs. Nutt said, that particular oil cooler, it's really quiet. It has great pull when it's on. I mean, you can literally put your hand down there and you can feel the suction through the oil cooler. But it makes zero aesthetic difference in the bike. You cannot see that oil cooler or that fan. You got to get down at a real weird angle in order to see it. You can kind of see it from underneath a little bit. But other than that, it doesn't change the aesthetic appearance of the bike at all, and that's why we loved it. So we're going to get on these and take a little ride. We'll discuss as we're riding kind of the benefits of our cooling systems, and then probably a few other things that are kind of going on around the city and around the world. And we'll just have a nice ride and complete this video. Let's get going.
Okay, let's take a little ride, have a little talk. It is a little windy, so we'll see how this goes. All right, now that we could get out of our driveway, let's get on the road. We'll take a little drive, do one of our nice little rides, kind of one of our short versions around town.
So to talk about the CoolFlow fans.
Yeah, we talked about the CoolFlow fans. I love the CoolFlow fans. They really do make a huge difference when riding. To just keep, your calves get crazy hot. When you have a passenger, they get crazy hot. So it's a really nice feature. Just the way it pulls that heat away from the engine, away from the, over the catalytic converter. It's just
Catalytic,
whatever.
It's a really fancy converter.
Exactly. Exactly.
So on our dashes, if you'll kind of look, I'm going to try and focus my camera real quick, is there's a button that has a fan on it that installs on your newer touring models. And when you hit that button, your display where your odometer is and all your information kind of displays through when you run through it. That'll either display fan off, fan auto, or fan on. And when you turn the fan on, basically it just runs whenever the bike's turned on, shuts off whenever the bike shuts off. When you put it on auto, it takes into consideration, kind of like Mrs. Nutt said earlier.
Yeah, which we did that world record ride this last October, and we did it the year before, September. And even though it was October, it was still a crazy hot day, and obviously you're going crazy slow because you're in a parade with like 4,000 other motorcycles. So it made, I think, a huge difference. So we didn't have as much, we didn't have any overheating personally, but the year before there was definitely major overheating within bikes. The year they didn't get the record.
Well, it was the year that they didn't set the record. We went down to Paris and they had the crazy course. And we rode double because you had just basically completed your course and you just had your little Iron 1200 at the time.
Right, yeah. I completed my course the end of July, and that ride was in September, so I wasn't ready to ride in a parade, which I'm so glad after being in that parade that I didn't do it, because I would have been sorry, I'm sure. I was not ready to ride amongst that many people, and I just had my little Iron 1200, and I was not sorry that I chose to ride just two up with you.
For the most part, we like to, I think ever since, once Mrs. Nutt started riding, even on her Iron, is we have these little trails around Tulsa, and we'll probably have to take you guys on a couple of our favorite rides. Yeah. We've got rides, everything from the one we're going to do today, which is about a 40-minute, just kind of quick get out of the house. In the wintertime when the weather's really cold, which it's not today, but with the crazy kind of like, shelter in place suggestion here we have in Oklahoma, which I don't know that it's really an order as much as a suggestion. But with the shelter-in-place thing they got going on here, and the kids being home, our nephews being home from school, so that we're doing the homeschool thing, we don't get the opportunities to ride that we were hoping to have this year. So we're doing our best to get in short rides and to, get things done. Can't hire babysitters.
Yes, because you can invite people over to your house.
So, you know, it's been kind of crazy in getting time to ride for Mrs. Nut more than myself.
Yeah.
I know that sounds kind of sexist, but
Just how we roll.
It's kind of, we roll a little sexist in this family. For as liberated as we are with women Harley riders and a dominant female presence, we do roll a little traditional.
And by choice. I love the role I've chosen in my home, and you know, Mr. Nut likes his role. We've done it all purposely, so I think that's why there really isn't an issue with it. I like to be the one who does the homemaker stuff and takes care of the kids. It's where I thrive, so I don't see anything wrong with it. I think that's all. I think, you know, if you're doing what you like, I don't think you don't do it begrudgingly. If it's not what you chose, then sure, could cause issues and things like that, but it doesn't for us because we kind of both chose our roles. Or something like that, so the air temperature feels amazing. I just don't love riding in the wind. As far as, I mean, that sounds kind of silly because we're always like wind therapy, but when the wind is super strong and we have these, I think right now we have like 20 to 30 mile an hour winds, it's not as pleasant. It's not the same kind of wind therapy as just making your own wind, if that makes sense. I think it does. I'm gonna go with it. You're gonna go with it. So one of the things I want to do on the next video is I'll probably have to do it without Mrs. Nut because of the circumstances. Because I do want to take you guys on one of our rides. If we do a nice ride video, it'll be something that I probably do on my own. Yeah. And I know everybody misses the view. At least I will. Because my girl, she looks really good on that street glide. that backrest is kind of in the way, just so you know. Is it? Again, since we have nephews in our home, and right. This is a new situation for us, we've had to put backrest on both these bikes so that we can take the kids with us from time to time. Which has been a lot of fun. The boys are 9 and 11, and when I first picked them up to bring them to live with us, I said, are you guys going to want to go on the motorcycles with us? And they both were like, adamantly, no. No, we're good. I don't even like roller coasters. No, we don't think so. So neither one of them was really excited or thought about it or no. They were both no's. And then they got here and they looked at the bikes and they're like, maybe. I don't think they were here a week before we said, okay, you want to try it? You want to go for a ride? I've got a helmet that'll fit you. Luckily, I have a teeny small head, and so they can wear my extra helmets, which is kind of nice. So they're like, okay. Well, the brave one, who does all the crazy roller coasters, was like, okay, I'll go. So he went, and he so enjoyed it that he came home and was like, he told his brother, oh, you're not going to want to do it, to kind of keep it to himself, I think. And so he enjoyed it so much that the other one was like, I guess I'll try. And now they're both like, oh, can we go for a ride? And they love it. Yes. So that has been super nice because it's given us at least the opportunity to, you know, go on a couple of long rides to the lakes and things like that because we've been able to take them with us, which otherwise I'm not comfortable leaving them home for hours on end by themselves. So maybe that's just me, but it just hasn't worked out, being that they're not mine, so I don't have complete control kind of thing. You know, it's kind of funny. I remember as a kid, and
you know, I'm 58, so my memories aren't really clear from childhood. But I do remember houses that I lived in and things and events that happened at those houses. And I remember my uncle, my dad, my mom's younger brother, he had a knucklehead. And he used to strap me, and I couldn't have been older than about 6 or 7 because we moved away from that house when I was 8. He used to strap me with a belt around him and put me in front of him. And we would go riding on that bike. And I just developed, from him, I developed a real love of motorcycles. Behind the gray car, you should be really good.
Yep. Unless he slows down, jackass.
Jackasses everywhere. That's what we have around here. I'm sure they're everywhere. Matter of fact, we know they're everywhere because we've kind of ridden most of the way across this country. So.
Exactly.
Same jackasses here in Tulsa that exist everywhere.
Alright, that's a little better. It is so windy, so I don't know how the volume, or not the volume, but I don't know how the sound is going to be, but it shouldn't be too terrible. I can feel all my things slapping around on my helmet a little bit, but no, you have that early childhood memories of like the motorcycling and the things, and I really don't have that. I can remember, I have like one vivid memory of motorcycle. My uncle owned one, and he came to visit at my grandma's house, and I remember him driving me up the street one time and back, and they lived in a little cul-de-sac, so it wasn't anything like major. I couldn't tell you what kind of bike it was, who knows. It wasn't a street bike, it was definitely like a Harley or something along that, you know, look and style. But that's like the only memory, and I was probably, I don't know, 5 or 6. I do have that memory, but there's nothing, it wasn't that significant. But I like it now. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff blowing around, be careful.
You know, I've always been an anti-helmet person. And I guess I'll use the last of this video for my anti-helmet, semi-pro helmet point of view now.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a kid and I rode motorcycles as my primary mode of transportation from the time I was 16 years old. And we never wore helmets. We wore helmets on dirt bikes. We never wore helmets on street bikes. And they used to keep the roads cleaner than they do now, it seems. I think the reason I'm kind of pro-helmet now, and you'll never hear me say I'm pro-helmet law because I'm not pro 99.99999% of laws. But the reason I'm pro-helmet is because of the debris that I've had smack my helmet since we started using helmets for communication more than anything. And just realizing that if that debris would have hit me in the head, it might have done a whole different thing. But
yeah, there's so much. There's so much, even like not big stuff, but just like the sand. We have a highway that runs north and south, and it's like the windiest freeway for whatever reason. I don't know why, but whether you're going north or south on it, it is literally like super windy no matter what the actual weather is. And there's always like these small particles of dust and dirt that just smack your face. We've done it without helmets a couple times when we're just kind of going for a quick run, and every time I do it I think, where's my helmet?
well, it seems in Oklahoma they have some much bigger, much harder bugs than we had in California growing up.
That too.
Some of the bugs around here, they hit your helmet, it's like, damn.
Yeah,
I mean,
they make a very loud smack.
It's a very loud noise. So, you know, for my biker bros out there, you old dogs like me, I still like to get out without my helmet. I do, as often as I can, but every once in a while I just know it's windy, or you know, it's just going to be the kind of day to where there's going to be some risks out there. We're not wearing a helmet, so I'll throw one on.
So we are just jumping off at our exit. It's about a 20-minute ride round trip from our house, kind of just around the city that we do here. Super nice to be with you guys. Thanks for the chat. Like, subscribe, comment below. Let us know if you have any thoughts, questions, anything we could help you out with, anything on the oil coolers and things like that. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace. Peace.